Prosecutors just rested their case against Lindsay Clancy. Now her defense has to prove something very specific. Not that she didn't do it, but that she was not criminally responsible when it happened. Here is exactly where this trial stands. Here is why this case has drawn so much attention. Beyond the tragedy itself, it's become one of the most closely watched tests of an insanity defense in Massachusetts in years, specifically tied to postpartum psychosis, a severe and relatively rare mental health condition. How this trial resolves could shape how these cases get argued and understood and going forward. That distinction, responsibility not denied, is the whole legal question this jury has to answer. Quick background, kept minimal and factual. Lindsay Clancy is a Massachusetts mother charged in the deaths of her three young children in January 2023. She also attempted to take her own life that day and has been paralyzed from the waist down since. She's been held at Tewksbury State Hospital throughout the pre-trial process. Her defense, led by attorney Kevin Reddington, has argued from the start that she was over-medicated and suffering from severe postpartum depression and psychosis at the time. Prosecutors have pushed back on that framing throughout pre-trial proceedings. Here is the actual news from this week. As of Monday, prosecutors rested their case and the defense began calling its own witnesses. According to CNN, several early defense witnesses described her as a dedicated and loving parent. Her mother also testified, saying Clancy had told her she believed her medication was destroying her mind. Testimony aimed directly at supporting the psychosis and over-medication argument. So what actually decides this case from here? An insanity defense, legally lack of criminal responsibility in Massachusetts, doesn't ask the jury to decide whether the deaths happened. Nobody is disputing that. It asks the jury to decide whether at that specific moment she understood what she was doing or could control her actions because of a severe mental illness. That's a genuinely difficult legal bar to clear. In Massachusetts and everywhere else, juries convict far more often than they accept an insanity defense. Historically, the defense now needs expert testimony, medical records, and witness accounts like her mother's to build a credible case that her mental state met that legal threshold. I won't speculate on how the jury rules. That's genuinely not something to guess at from the outside, and I don't think it does anyone any good to try. What I will say, the fact that the defense is leading with character witnesses and a parent's direct account of her mental state tells you their strategy. They are building a human picture of decline, not just a clinical one. Watch for the expert psychiatric testimony next. That's typically the part of an insanity defense that actually moves a jury one way or the other. So the case has moved into its next real phase, and the defense's strategy is starting to take shape. I will follow this through the verdict and update you when there is real moment, not just process. This is a genuinely hard story to sit with, a family in real, ongoing grief, and a legal system trying to work through something with no good outcome.